All right, everyone, it is time. We're going to get a unique co-op run of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past (NMG) with PopsicleStyx and newlife88. The floor is yours. Cannot wait for this.
All right, what is up, guys? I'm your commentator Mool, along with PopsicleStyx and New Life. So what we've got here is A Link to the Past, No Major Glitches co-op run. So they are both logged into the O2 server, otherwise known as the A Link to the Past Online 2.0 server, and this allows them to share inventory between both players. So what's going to happen is they're going to route their travel through the overworld in a way where one player collects an item as the other player is getting ready to use the item in a different location.
Yes, we're going to be working together to beat the game as fast as we can.
Yep.
And our goal is to get under 1 hour. Blue pack. Alright. I think I'm ready if you are, New Life.
I am indeed.
All right, count it in. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so starting off with the escape sequence here, we're gonna have New Life going and doing the escape sequence as normal, while Popsicle kind of stands around in front of Link's house and collects some rupees for later on in the run. They don't both need to do the whole escape sequence, so there's not a whole lot else we can optimize other than collecting rupees at this point in the game because of the rain sequence, and you're not able to leave the area in front of Link's house.
Got my nice orange Sprite.
The nice orange Sprite, which won the bid war by like $230 or something.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate the support. So right when he got the sword from the uncle, I also got the sword.
Right, which is going to make your rupee collection a little bit more efficient here.
There's only certain bushes that even drop rupees, and it's just a chance.
So you're going for about 20 or so here, and what's the reason for that specific number?
I need 10 to be able to temper the sword later in the Dark World, but the more I have, the better in case I need to buy a potion or something crazy happens. So my goal is to just kind of get as much rupees as I can. So like the highest I've ever gotten is like 48. And then I have to go move into my place to be ready for the next transition.
Right. So as soon as New Life gets to the Sanctuary trigger, that's what causes Rain State to end, and then Pops is able to start going over to the Eastern Palace area.
Yeah, and I'll get a head start on Eastern, and then he'll join me and he will finish it. So he just got the chest for the boomerang, so I'm going to go ahead and open this chest for the lamp so that he has it as well to save a menu for him in Zelda's Cell.
Yeah, the level of optimization with the shared inventory is really very interesting.
There is the option for us to both do the escape together. However, he's significantly faster at it than me, so it just makes more sense to let him do the whole thing.
You're modest.
Pretty sure you saw my time last run. Sometimes when we're practicing this, I space out and I have to really focus on when he's getting to the sanctuary so that I can get to my spot and not be late.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a problem. Like, you're so focused on do this and like, okay, this is happening now.
Yeah.
We have a moment for a donation, quickly.
Oh yeah, of course.
We got $10 from iPoppy, wishing good luck to Pops and New Life. That $10 went toward the ramen option for the Wikipedia ramen versus pizza endpoint goal poll. So if you're enjoying the ramen, that's got a slight lead. If you want to grab pizza, get those donations in and switch that around.
Nice choice, Hey Poppy. What's up, dude?
Thanks, Poppy. Happy birthday.
So we're coming up towards the end of the escape sequence here in about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, I just really want to get 50 rupees though, you know? It seems like a good solid number.
Gotta go for that new record. So
Nope.
close.
It's too risky.
Alright, so we're going to the screen transition here, because you actually have to transition the screen for a rain state to end in the game.
And now I might be more quiet because I have to focus on not doing NMG and doing co-op route.
So you'll see we get the shared sank cart, but for some reason both players don't actually get the refill, which I find super concerning.
It's interesting later on too, like if we are both on a crystal cutscene at the same time, we'll both end with like an empty heart.
So we're gonna start to see a little bit of that route optimization as we get into different paths in Eastern here. So Popsicle is gonna start doing the first loop of Eastern, and then right about the time that she collects the big key, New Life is gonna be in position to grab the bow, and then finish the back half of Eastern. And the timing works out surprisingly tight for a lot of these.
Every once in a while I gotta look over and see where New Life is. So I know if I have time to grab an extra arrow pod or something. I don't normally have time. He's normally too quick for me.
Oops. Here.
Alright, so both players right on time with the big key and the bow chest opening. So New Life is going to go and do the back of Eastern Palace and collect the pendant. And Popsicle is going to take a Death Warp and use this extra time to collect the 100 rupee chest in the front of Eastern. And they're able to route a lot of safeties in this way because it's going to take a couple minutes before they're able to collect the boots, so you may as well use that time for something.
This money that I just got will be for the very end of the game when I want to get the bomb upgrade for the ferry inside of the pyramid, and I want to upgrade. I need 100 rupees for that bomb.
And again, that's a really similar route split where New Life is going to be finishing the GT climb while Popsicle buys the super bomb. And that makes the end of the game more efficient for both of them with the silver arrows. Alright, so the green pendant is collected, and we've got the boots now.
Miss spin speed twice. Thought that was going to hit me.
So at this point, New Life will go directly to the Desert Palace area, and by the time he gets there, we will hopefully have the book collected.
Oops.
Yeah, that's correct. There's no save and quit in this category.
So obviously, just watching this, there's already been a decent amount of divergence from the normal NMG route. Can you kind of go into more detail what exactly is changing from the normal route since this is co-op?
Yeah, okay. So normally in a single player run, where you saw New Life go directly to Desert and you saw PopsicleStyx go to the library and collect the book, you would be responsible for doing that item collection yourself. You'd go straight to the library, then backtrack to Link's house and open the Desert Palace. So they're able to collect the book and open Desert basically simultaneously. And now New Life's next objective is to collect the Power Glove, which unlocks the back of Desert Palace and allows you access to Landmola's blue pendant, and we go off to Death Mountain from there. But since they're splitting responsibilities and we haven't collected the Power Glove yet, Popsicle has got a couple extra minutes, and she's going to use this time to grab the net and bottle, which you normally wouldn't see until early Dark World. We're going to get this ferry, and then she's going to go stand at the Death Mountain entrance where you first lift the rock to go to Death Mountain.
We're on pace.
And so you can see here, New Life is just about to grab the glove in a second, and Pops is already in place to enter Death Mountain. So at this point, since Pops has a big head start on the Death Mountain climb, she's going to go ahead and full clear Tower of Hera, which is going to be our third pendant for Master Sword access. And normally the sequence would be after you've collected the book and opened Desert Palace, you do this whole sequence that New Life is doing, and then you travel the overworld and start doing the Death Mountain climb. But since New Life gets to skip the entire Death Mountain sequence, he's actually going to have a few minutes afterwards to do some item collection.
Come on. Sorry.
Nice, nice, nice. The worm boss is down.
It's very... it can be very, very trolling, this boss, so...
Yeah, this is pretty much the most obnoxiously random fight in the game. Very difficult.
Thanks for the empty heart.
Alright, so New Life's next game progression objective is going to be to collect the Master Sword, but since you need all 3 pendants, and we've got a few minutes to wait before that happens, what he's going to do at this point is start collecting the rupees that he needs to purchase the flippers later, which is 500, so we get some bombs from the swamp entrance here, and we'll go to the mini Moldorm cave, which has 300 rupees.
Oops. I want those.
Don't fall, don't fall.
Hey, wait a minute. How are we swimming without flippers?
So, fake flippers, for anybody that's unfamiliar, we don't actually need the flippers to swim in this game. If you're able to set yourself up exactly 1 pixel away from a screen transition, the game isn't checking for flippers until you've had a chance to move for 1 frame, so you get to the screen transition before the game ever checks for it. So we're able to move a little more quickly through the overworld by routing in that way.
Yes. Giving you more time to hang out there for a minute, New Life.
It's fine.
So we've got the Moldorm fight on the right side of the screen. So this guy is a big bully, and he bounces you down to the floor below. And every time you fall down to the next level, his health completely resets. So it's a very trolly fight. But eventually he will give us the red pendant, which is the 3rd and final pendant that we need to access the Master Sword here.
That was pretty slow, but we did it. And now since New Life already has this Master Sword, I have access to the tablets.
Right, so in this game, there are a couple of Hylian tablets that you need the book and the Master Sword to be able to read, which will give you a magic medallion. And right outside of Hera, we need this ether medallion to access the Misery Mire area later. And normally, you would have to go down to the woods, collect the Master Sword, come back and get this medallion later. But we get to skip all of that because we got the Master Sword without ever having to leave the mountain conveniently.
Thank you, New Life.
So now that New Life has got his sword, he's going to finish collecting the 500 rupees required to buy the flippers later on. And we're going to use them to swim legitimately at some point. Because there are areas that you're not able to fake flippers your way into. And he also collected the mushroom in the woods, which will be important later. So you see right here that he's dashing over this pit in a really weird way, and this is going to store a water walk. So pits are really glitchy in this game. If you dash over the edge of a pit and then dash into water, you can just run on water for some reason. And this makes it really convenient to get over to the ice rod area. And since PopsicleStyx is doing the Aghanim's Tower climb, the purpose of this is to defeat basically the final boss of the Light World, which warps you into the beginning of the Dark World. And there isn't really a whole lot that New Life can do while waiting for Dark World access, so he's going to do some item collection in the meantime. He set up another water walk, and he's going to take this warp to the Lake Hylia area and use his 500 rupees to buy the flippers.
Moogle, if you like, did you want to explain maybe a brief difference between major glitches and no major glitches for the people who don't know?
Yeah, sure. So some of the things that you're seeing that are obviously glitches, like the water walks, the fake flippers, things like that, those are considered minor glitches. And those are things that were... most of them were patched out in the American release of the game. There are things in this game that are incredibly more broken. A lot of people are going to be familiar with the any % category, where you jump off a ledge and save and quit, and then when you reload the game and take damage, you can basically walk under the floor straight to the Triforce. This game is incredibly broken in the major glitches category. There's a lot of things that are just banned outright because they're too broken.
So with the Aga fight coming up, is RNG shared between the two games? Like, will one game affect the blue ball RNG coming up for Aga?
So he doesn't have to do Aga 1, so as soon as Aga 1 dies, he will be able to stand in that portal and go straight to Dark World.
To answer your question, though, I don't think what somebody does in one game affects the RNG of the other game. I think those are two separate instances of RNG seeds. At least that would be my assumption, but I can't confirm.
New Life, how are you on tree poles?
I need to do one more. I gotta kill the blue guards and I'm ready.
So I'll explain a little bit about what they're both doing here. So like I said, the Aghanim fight is going to give them access to Dark World, and it will activate a warp in the bridge area here. But New Life also needs 100 rupees to open Palace of Darkness. It costs 110 rupees to get in. So by killing the enemies in a specific way and then pulling the tree, it gives you 4 red rupees. Basically, you need to kill 4 enemies in a row without taking damage, and then when you pull the tree, it'll give you 80 rupees.
There.
Yay, text. You wanna
Alright,
translate
so-
this for us, Moogle?
I'll do my best. We don't actually speak a word of Japanese, we just play the game in Japanese because fewer text characters. Saves about a second in total. So at this point, New Life is in the Palace of Darkness area, and he's going to pay the monkey for access to the dungeon. And the first important objective in this dungeon is to collect the magic hammer, because all of the Dark World overworld has access restricted by these pegs that you have to mash down with the hammer. So while Popsicle is waiting for the hammer to be collected, she's going to get the magic powder. So I didn't mention before, but when New Life was in this area, he actually dropped off the mushroom at the witch's hut. And this is kind of a 2-part item collection. You have to drop off the mushroom, and then... Oh, I guess I was mistaken, but...
Yeah, I forgot to...
I think he grabbed it in the woods.
Yeah, I grabbed it, but I forgot to drop it up.
You have to drop off the mushroom and then exit the area, and when you come back, they will have made magic powder for you. And this has all sorts of fun effects. It turns anti-fairies into fairies. It turns buzz blobs into who knows what. And Popsicle is also going to take this opportunity to collect the Quake Medallion by making a fish angry. So this sign up here says, "Please don't throw anything into my circle of rocks." And so you do, and it makes this fish angry, and he gives you a nice magic medallion. And we're going to use that to open the Turtle Rock dungeon later. So we've got a really fun trick coming up on the left side of the screen. So New Life is going to drop a bomb on a very specific Y coordinate. And this is pixel perfect, so that's why the pause buffer's here. And then you have to stand on another higher up exact Y coordinate. And when you take damage from the bomb, you get clipped into the rail, and you can just walk up through it and collect the hammer. And this saves... The normal routing would be you'd have to go down to the basement and collect a key to unlock the door at the top of the maze, which takes an additional 40 seconds or so. But now that we have the magic hammer, we have access to lower Dark World. And normally in single player routing, you would finish Palace of Darkness and then go down this way and collect the flute from the Haunted Grove area. But Popsicle is free to finish this key side quest during the completion of Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm gonna go activate the flute, so by the time he beats the boss of that dungeon, he can just flute out instead of having to walk all the way back out.
Right, and this in the end saves many minutes of overworld travel between both players.
We're just gonna do safe strat here.
Usain Bolt, the fastest guard in Hyrule.
I'm not feeling very good about my spin speeds lately.
That guy's a jerk. Alright, so we access the flute here by using it at this bird statue. Normally this would be the point in the run where if you're going to see net in bottles, we would collect them here, since this is the first time you'd normally be at this place in the game in a single player playthrough. But we get to have access to certain things early because of how the routing optimization works out.
Apples.
Got the Helmasaur King fight on the left side. Big friendly turtle. Once the mask comes off, he swings his tail and shoots fireballs at the same time. Extremely dangerous. But we have a fairy in a bottle, so we were never scared.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe a little.
I was cocky.
So you've got Popsicle accessing the Village at Outcast area for the first time, and she will start the Thieves' Town dungeon. And this is an important one because it gives us access to the Titan's Mitt, which we need to upgrade to Tempered Sword. And normally you would have both of these quests completed by the time you go to the third Dark World dungeon and fight Mothula with the upgraded sword. But because of the way the timing works out, we've got to do Moth with Master Sword today, and he takes twice as many hits.
Sorry, I just can't get the upgrade fast enough for you.
Have you tried going faster?
You know, I have. I'm gonna bonk. Oh, I didn't bonk. Nice.
Ketchup sword, exactly. It's ketchup sword and butter sword.
Oops, okay, I messed up. Let's go.
We've got our favorite Hellway. And magic powder coming in clutch for fairy collection there. Makes it nice and easy to stay alive in the mid to late game dungeons. Yeah, Hellway was pretty mean to us today. So the main objective of Thieves' Town, aside from collecting the Titan's Mitts, is to bomb the attic here. And this is going to allow light to come down into the boss room. So the gimmick with this dungeon is basically there's a girl in a jail cell, and she says, "I'm lost, take me outside." So of course you do, and then she just runs away and you have to go find her again. But if you bomb the attic and bring her into the light, she turns into a monster. We've got New Life doing Skullwoods simultaneously. This is the next dungeon in the single player sequence. And we're going to get the fire rod here. Fire rod does a number of different things, but mainly is used to access the back portion of Skullwoods and to kill the Turtle Rock boss. Yeah, whatever too bright is in Japanese. That's our blind joke today. If you're familiar with a Link to the Past randomizer, blind will usually have some terrible pun.
Okay. Let's do this.
Alright. Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my fairy.
That's okay.
Let's go.
This I would say is the hardest fight in this route. So you got the conveyors and the spikes, and the fun thing about the Japanese version of A Link to the Past is they coded Mothula badly, and by that I mean Moth takes 0 damage from spikes. So if you hit him into a spike, the spike can overwrite the damage, and you've got to hit this Moth 8 times with the Master Sword. There we go.
Okay.
Nice job.
Which just makes it incredibly trolly.
I get hit once. It's fine.
On the right side of the screen, we've got the Cursed Dwarf, who is a frog in the Dark World, and we're gonna take him home so he can make us some bread.
I forgot it looks like that. Hammer that bread. There's my 10 rupees from earlier. Went a little overboard with the 40, you know.
So while we're getting our upgrades, so do you have a moment to just update some of the incentives and bid wars going on right now?
Yeah, that'll work.
So we up next after this is going to be our Legend of Zelda Archipelago Multi-World Randomizer. But after that, we have our next incentive. We have Sticky Business later today, where if you like, you can help name the shop that we'll be using for the Sticky Business run that Scala Kitty will be using. Currently in the lead for that is write your name in the donation comment at $5. So if you'd like to try and snipe that one, you've got some time to get in on that. Later on, we have a character selection bid war for Leaf Blower Man. That's right now, if you get any donation in, you can get whatever option you like there. Our Wikipedia race, which, by the way, if you haven't seen a Wikipedia speedrun, please tune in for that. That is bonkers. We're currently, ramen is ahead of pizza for our goal as the endpoint. So ramen is ahead with $10. So, as well as for Shadow the Hedgehog later, a category bid war between Chaotix and Sonic %. Sonic is currently in the lead at $50. So please get your donations in for Blue Path today and select a poll or a target if you'd like to influence any of those.
Wiki speedruns are really, really fun. Don't miss that. Alright, so to catch you up on what's been going on, Popsicle did the Tempered Sword upgrade along with Half Magic, which, as the name doesn't suggest, lets you use twice as much magic, and they've again gone to separate dungeons. New Life is in the Misery Mire area, and PopsicleStyx is in Ice Palace. So there's not a whole lot going on in either of these dungeons aside from collecting the required crystals at the end. We will get the Cane of Samaria in Mire, which is a key item. But aside from that, we're just doing some dungeon crawling at the moment. So, yeah, that's an interesting one with the no major glitches rule set versus the A Link to the Past randomizer competitive rule set. There are a lot of minor glitches that are allowed and that are useful in randomizer that are not allowed in competitive speedrun play, and Icebreaker is one of them. We also won't be seeing Diver Down. But we did see a really nice Ice Palace bomb jump. So we kind of break the required puzzle for Ice Palace by having the pegs flip the wrong way and then doing a damage boost over the pit in that room with the firebar. We can do the dungeon loop one time instead of the normally required 3 times. Icebreaker does in fact eliminate bomb jump. Yeah, you get to skip straight to the penguin room. Yeah, it's interesting how they explain half magic in the English version of the game. The bat will tell you, "I've cursed you, you can only use half the magic." And it's like, you know, this is a bad thing, joke's on you, but it actually means you only consume the magic half as quickly, which is a very useful thing. Because in this game, to open Cold Stare Shell, normally with the fire rod you would need to use an entire magic bar, and if you miss one shot then you're out of magic and your run is over because it takes 3 minutes to warp out and get all the way back here with a full magic bar again. But with half magic, which we were basically able to collect for free because we had extra time, there is a ton of room for error, and you're not going to reset your run over missing a fire rod shot here. And I just totally didn't even mention the fact that New Life is cheesing the game over here with these fire rod shots.
Ooh, I'm short on arrows. Okay.
Ooh, that was a gold.
Ooh, nice. That's fine with the arrows. Just do a sword spin for the first hit.
Oof.
Nice.
There we go.
Alright, so Popsicles is headed to the Turtle Rock area, and because of that we're actually going to see Swamp being the last dungeon to be accessed in this route, which is very unexpected for me as a NMG player. I'm also curious why you're taking the West Death Mountain route past Tower of Hera to get to Turtle Rock.
I don't have a hook shot.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Dead Rock.
This is the only way with no hook shot that I know of.
Right, you're right, because you can't cover that gap. The only other way to do it is with a fairy death warp. And that's just obnoxiously difficult.
Also, I have to do the room with the torches backwards because of no hook shot.
Yeah, that's also an issue, and you can't hook speed here. Normally the way we would do that peg puzzle is you use the hook shot on the ladder to enter a glitch state called super speed, and it lets you move around in any direction at dashing speed. It's really crazy. Alright, so we've got New Life entering Swamp Palace and using flippers to swim legitimately this time. And
Backwards torches.
Mhm.
Feels weird.
Like we said before, the key item in Swamp is the hookshot. Normally, you see Popsicles doing the torches room here. Normally, after you light the torches, you would use the hookshot to hook yourself to one of the torches and then fall into the pit, which would put you back at the beginning of the room, so you can just go straight through the door. It's way faster. But in this route, you give up some things to get other things. But in a normal NMG playthrough, you'd be accessing Turtle Rock at about 25 minutes after this point in the run, so it works out to be quite a bit faster.
I love chomps.
Everybody's favorite room. This is either the first or second most hated room in the game.
I thought I was fine. I was trying to go slow and take my time, and it still cost a fairy.
Oh no. Fortunately, in these late game dungeons, there are an absolute crapload of anti-fairies, and we've got the magic powder, so there's never really any worry of a game over at this point. And Swamp is like the polar opposite. It's a early Dark World dungeon that we saved until late game, but there's just a ton of random things that hit you, and there's not a whole lot of health refills. It's a surprisingly difficult dungeon.
No, I didn't take the damage from the laser.
Oh no.
Thought I was gonna.
Alright, so we trekked all the way over to west side of Swamp Palace for the big key, and we can unlock the hookshot now. If you're a randomizer fan, west side of Swamp is one of the worst checks in the game.
It is not good check. I don't really play random.
That's fine though.
Nice use of sword beams in the peg jail room. And we're gonna have bosses from both dungeons at roughly the same time. and that will be our last 2 crystals, giving us access to Ganon's tower. And with Ganon's tower being on top of the mountain, Popsicle has a big advantage in overworld travel time, how long it actually takes to get to the dungeon. But since New Life is a bit ahead on his crystal cutscene, they're going to arrive at roughly the same time.
Although this is the longest cutscene of all. The
It's
crystal cutscenes.
obnoxiously long. These cutscenes go from 43 seconds to about, I want to say this one is in like the 57-second range.
Yeah,
It's
something like
There's never really any breaks in this game. The longest break you get is when you have a cutscene for a wall extending. You'll get that in Desert Palace Torches, Palace of Darkness, Basement Access, and that's like a 17-second cutscene where you don't actually have to press a button. It's the longest break you get in the whole game.
Feels so long too.
But yeah, this mashing is not break time. They're actively pressing buttons. We've got another nice dead rock to add to the collection. So these enemies turn solid when you hit them, and if they turn solid in just the right spot, you have to wait about 9 seconds for them to unfreeze and get out of your way. It's a great way to kill a speedrun. This is a really interesting route on the left side of the screen here, because normally you would do what Popsicle is doing on the right side. You would go from Turtle Rock straight to Ganon's Tower. You just kind of move to the west across the top of the mountain there, but this is a cave that you don't normally see in an NMG playthrough, because you're never going to Dark World Death Mountain from this route. So Popsicle is starting the GT basement, and you have to do the full loop around the Ganon's Tower basement to fight the Ice Armos Knights and collect the big key, which gives you access to the top part of the tower.
And New Life, I did not grab the torch key, just so you know.
Okay. Wasn't sure about that.
New Life taking advantage of having a little bit of extra waiting time to collect a key and some arrows. And there's only 3 rooms that need to be done before opening the big key door, so we'll have a couple extra seconds of waiting around. But it's nice that they get to split responsibility for the
Why
tower
did I do
here.
that? Oops.
Because Popsicle is actually going to use the time that New Life is climbing the tower to go and collect some item upgrades in the meantime.
One thing I always like about NMG runs, Bob gets to live. We don't get to see Special Bob.
Yeah, so normally in the room where... Okay, in randomizer, in the room where you drop down into the Armos Knights fight, the anti-fairy in the corner where you drop down is often really glitched out. And I don't know, they've decided to name him Bob. He's nice. Alright, so now that we have the big key, we've got our red mail chest, which is the dungeon item for Ganon's Tower. And we're gonna go off and get the super bomb, which becomes available after both Ice Palace and Misery Mire are completed. But it doesn't really become useful until now. But by going to Link's house in the Dark World, there's a bomb shop that now has the super bomb. And we can use it to access the Great Fairy Fountain inside the pyramid, which just happens to be right where the Ganon fight is located. So it's convenient for that reason as well.
I'll remember to get the silver arrows this time.
Makes the Ganon fight significantly faster.
Yeah, last time I got the sword and it was like, peace!
Normally for the final phase of Ganon, if you're doing it with the speedrun setup, you would need to spin Ganon 12 times. But with this, we'll just give him 4 silver arrows real quickly, and it saves around 30 seconds or so. And this is just something that we can do in the meantime while waiting for access to the Ganon fight at the top of the pyramid. And we're coming up on it pretty shortly. We've got the third of our Light World boss refights out of the way, and we're going into Aghanim 2. Our favorite geometry wizard.
Oh man, I'm so bad at this fight.
You have to do math. It was not a very friendly setup at all.
No.
That's 2 hits out of 6.
Oh,
And the yellow ball despawned. Sometimes when he's on the back wall and you knock him into the wall, he's supposed to throw a yellow ball attack, but the game will just eat it for some reason. It's super annoying.
alright. Wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible.
It looked
Okay.
like it got desynced quite a bit.
So something I've never understood. How does the duck make its way into the Dark World?
Right? How is it inside?
How did it... Yeah, like... Are you on the roof? Someone explain. Alright, so we're getting access to the the Ganon fight on both sides at the same time, which I find super fascinating. That you just fall into this pit that instantly appeared. We're on pace for a little over 60 minutes in this run, which is quite close to their PB of 59, 56. Very solid run overall. So, first couple phases of Ganon here, you've got to hit him 6 times each phase with the gold sword, and then he'll start to break the floor every time he stops warping and you hit him here. And once all 4 sides of the floor are gone, the torches go out and we go into phase 4, where he takes damage from silver arrows. And there's the first 2.
No!
And there's the last 2.
No! No, dude!
Oh no, what
I
happened?
blew it!
Oh no!
I blew it! Alright. What time would that have been?
We've got
a
a 1 hour 10 seconds by my timing.
Yeah.
Okay, so still.
That's within 15 seconds of PB. Very solid.
Dang it. I got nervous.
Sorry, we go again. That was it's a really rough setup there. You get stuck in between the edge and Ganon, and there's not really anywhere to go.
The reverse controls getting hit by those that fire is always it's one of my most hated mechanics of this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. It's not something you even practice for, really. Alright, so Pop's just spamming the lamp to keep the torches lit. One interesting feature of the original Japanese release being that if you light the left torch before the right one goes out, the right one just never goes out. Got our last arrow, and we're a few seconds away from the time here.
102.07 on my side.
And that's the game. We're out of here.
Let's co-op.
Good job, guys.
GG!
Thank you. Thank you, Moogle, for comms.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, happy to do it.
Thank you, 30 and Cubs Rule, for our restream.
Also want to give a shout out to JSD, the developer of O2, otherwise known as A Link to the Past Online 2.0. If you guys want to check that out, is a really cool online server that syncs your items together if you want to do any category of co-op run in this game.
I can post a link to that in the chat if that's okay. His Discord server, so if people want to figure out how to do this on their own.
Sure.
Okay. So this link here I'm posting, that's the Discord for ALTCP Online with console support. So I was playing on console and New Life was playing on an emulator. But it's very fun. Yes, O2 also does work for randomizer, and you don't have to just do 2 players. You can have several players. There's even a PvP mode think we had like 6 people trying to bomb each other one day. That was pretty fun.
All right, before we head on out here, where can we find you all if we want to catch more of this later?
I'm PopsicleStyx. I stream very rarely, sporadically.
Yeah, likewise. newlife88, and yeah, I stream very rarely.
We live on different continents, so it's kind of hard to coordinate, but so far I've really enjoyed having New Life as a partner.
Likewise.
And Moogle?
You can find me at twitch.tv/MoogleMod, and I typically do all sorts of Zelda speedruns, mostly no major glitches stuff for various Zelda games.
Google actually helped write the tutorial for people who are interested in learning the speedrun for NMG. So if you want to look that up, it's called FMG. It's a very good tutorial. That's how I learned the game.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say GG's again. That was a very entertaining run from both of you. Thank you both for being here. We are going to head back to break for just a moment, but coming up shortly is going to be the 4-game Zelda Archipelago Randomizer Multi-World. So stick around, grab some water, stretch, and we should be back with you here shortly.